So the agenda for today, we're going to go over the project recap of the eDocs upgrade that got us here to present. We're going to go over the system changes that you guys can expect to see on March 27th whenever we go live. We're going to give you a couple little exercises on how to search in the new system and a couple tips and tricks on how best to find your results. We're going to go over how to upload in case that if you see the advantages of eDocs going forward, you can begin. We'll talk about the process for uploading and maybe implementing that in your department going forward. We'll talk about next steps of the projects and then any questions you have at the end. So to start us off, back in July and August of 2018, myself and then the department, your department's BAs in IT, we began meeting with you to go over a list of pain points from the current eDocs system, culling the document types that we currently have in there. We had over 400, and now we're down to 218, so thank you guys very much for helping us do that. And then based on your feedback, we built the upgrade site that you guys are seeing in front of you right now, and that we're going to kind of test out today, so you're familiar with it. More recently, BAs have begun meeting with departments again to kind of help customize search forms and your profile forms for eDocs search results. We're conducting training today, obviously, and then we go live with our upgrade on March 27th. So some of the system changes you can expect to see, we're going from eDocs, or what you may know it as Hummingbird 5.3.1 to the new eDocs system of 16.3, so we're like 10 years or so behind, so big changes definitely needed, and you'll see that on March 27th. The interface for the Windows DM extension, this typically impacts users who have batch scans, so HR, Shirley in HR, Yadi in the clerk's office, and one or two people over in ComDev are primarily going to be impacted by the Windows interface changes. And then the web portal, which is what basically everybody else that isn't a batch uploader uses, you guys will see the biggest changes. And again, that web portal's there right in front of you that you've logged into. If you're not a batch scan user now, but you still do have the eDocs DM extension, your license is going to be transferred over to the web portal whenever the upgrade goes live on March 27th. But if you still believe you have a need for that DM extension, reach out to your BA and they'll help you get that extension figured out for the licensing. Your search forms and your result views are going to be customizable to fit your department's needs, and we'll kind of go over how to customize those search result views real quick in one of our exercises. And obviously, again, since we helped cull the document types, names, we're going to clean up the naming convention of those so it's a little bit easier to determine document types and what they are and what they look like. So into the meat and potatoes of the training, the how to search. The most common complaint brought up during our eDocs meetings with departments with you all was frustration related to searching and finding documents within eDocs. So we're going to go over a couple exercises and a couple tips and tricks to help you guys find those documents going forward. So if you haven't already, go ahead and log into the eDocs extension. I believe everybody's already logged in. Before we start, we're going to go up to the settings icon. So if you hover your mouse over your name there in the top right corner of the screen and click on settings, this dialog box is going to pop up. And there at the top, under the default search form, we're going to click on that drop-down menu. And everybody should see a CL underscore or CC underscore CL underscore QBE test. We're going to go ahead and click on that and then click on OK. Let me know if you have any issues finding that. Once we've got that selected, we're going to go back. It's going to take you back to the home screen, and we're going to click on Profile Search there in the top left corner. And then another dialog box is going to pop up, and we're going to click on the Show More drop-down option there in the middle of the screen. And once you do that, the full profile box is going to open up for us to use. Okay. Would you be able to help her, Natalie? So, did you get lost too, Brennan? Okay. All right. So our first exercise using that profile box that popped up, I tried to pull these exercises from real examples that we've used or that I've experienced or been forwarded from other departments having trouble finding documents over the last year or so since I've been here with the city. So the first exercise is going to be, we've received a records request submitted for a franchise agreement and amendments or renewals with United Power in the city. So typically, how would you search? The best tip I can offer whenever you first start looking for documents is search wide first and then narrow it down from there. So in that profile search form box, there near the bottom of the box in the search for column, one of the pieces of information that we know from this records request is we're looking for some sort of agreement with United Power. So in that search for box, we're going to enter United Power. And then there's a drop-down box directly below that that says Document Contents. And we're going to click that, and we're going to select Document Contents and Profile Fields. So what this does is this allows us to search basically every single word within every single document and every single word with any of the metadata associated with all the documents. So that's going to be identifying party, description, title, and also all the documents that we enter into eDocs are going to be what's called OCR'd, which basically means the text within the PDFs that we upload is searchable, scannable, selectable. You can copy and paste it into other documents. So it's basically looking for everything that has the phrase United Power within those documents. So we're basically searching for United Power as wide as we possibly can within eDocs. So if you click OK, you're going to get quite a few results. Depending on your department permissions, you could get a couple more, you could get a couple less, but my results turned back 161 results. And if you see here, some of our columns that we have selected show us some of the relevant information. And these columns are adjustable to what we need to view for our search results. So we can change these to make sure that we're getting the most relevant information for the search results that we're looking for. So if we click up there in like the top right-ish corner, there's going to be a little pencil and notepad icon to the right of the final column. If we click that, a dialog box is going to open up, and what we're going to do real quick is we're going to click on Restore Defaults, and that's basically going to reset our column ordering. And once you click Restore Defaults, you should see the column order like this. And so whenever eDocs goes live, the old search form boxes that you use are going to default back to whatever those defaults are. Usually it's like application, date created, document type. And on March 27th, you can go into this web portal and you can click on that same icon that we just clicked now and open up this column and start setting how you want, what columns you want your search results to show. So you can make sure that you're setting up your search results whenever you're looking for documents in eDocs going forward to have the best columns. And so you can scroll down through there and see the different columns that are your options. But for the purpose of this training, these are the ones that we've selected. And I'm just going to walk you through real quick how to kind of reorder those columns, just as an exercise to get you familiar with setting your own search result views. So we're going to click on the down arrow next to the document name, which is the second row there, and we're going to drop it down. And whenever you click on that arrow, it should move document name down below description. And so after it's below description, we're going to click on that down arrow again, and we're going to drop it below document type. And then we're going to do that one last time and drop it below internal document number. So your final box should look like this in this order. So date of record, description, document type, internal document number, document name, department, and then finally identifying party. And once those are set up, we're going to click OK. And once we click OK, we're going to go back to our search results, and those columns are going to be ordered in that specific way. So on March 27th, your columns are going to default back, and it's probably not going to display the most relevant information for you. So if you do a lot of searching for contracts and you know you're looking for identifying party a lot, and you see who that identifying party is linked with that contract document, go in there, mess with your modified columns, and select which ones that you need and order them how you want to see them. And then once you click OK, those search result views are going to stay permanently for you until you readjust them again going forward. So going back to the exercise, we're going to narrow it down because 161 results is a lot to look through for one single contract. So one of the tips and tricks that we can use is we're going to use the all caps and phrase, and what that's going to do is that's going to join keywords before and after the and make sure that it's pulling up both phrases between and. So if we go back to that profile search and open up that search box, there in that same search field that we entered the first time in the search for, we're going to enter United Power, all caps, AND, and then franchise after it. And we're going to make sure that in the drop-down box below, we still have the document contents and profile field option selected. So after we enter that, we're going to click OK. And we're going to get a much more narrow set of search results. Again, you could have a couple more or a couple less depending on your department permissions. But on my screen, I got 48. You could get 50, 60. You could get 30, 40. But you're going to get a much more narrow set than the first time where we just searched United Power. And eDocs also default lists results based on relevance. So if you look there on my screen, and again, it could change based on yours, but one of the first results is probably going to be this document right here, where the description is in electric utility FRA, most likely a franchise is going to be the next word. And another identifying party column, it's United Power Inc. So that's a pretty good indication that we've probably found what we're looking for based on those search result fields alone. But if you click on the document name column there, the contract-general 111212, it'll give you a little dialog box to open up. Depending on your department permissions, again, it might not allow you access, but you should be able to open it up and see it. You're just going to select a little radio dial there next to the first column and click OK, and that should open a PDF for you. And right there in the header, we see that it's the electric utility franchise agreement between the city and United Power. So just by knowing what columns or what fields to search with and what words to use and using that AND operator, that can help you join words and phrases together in those search results that you do to try and find your documents within eDocs a little bit easier. And then again, setting up your search profile fields columns and your views can also help you find that relevant information that you're looking for. Another thing you can do that's pretty helpful is you can rule out your results based on also that the metadata that returns underneath those columns in your search results. So we probably know a franchise agreement isn't going to be a utility easement. It's probably not going to be in a council packet item. It's probably not going to be a contract with Hammer Commercial Planning or Hammer. It's probably not going to be in the council minutes either. So that just, from those 48, even looking at the different types of document names, document types, the identifying parties associated with those documents, we can already, without even scrolling or looking through any more documents, narrow down those 48 on that first page quite a bit. So that's our first exercise. For the second one, our supervisor is looking for a contract with Waste Management, Inc. that was signed in 2015 to see when it expires. So one of the fields we can use, since we know the specific identifying party, is going to be the identifying party field. So if you guys click on that profile search there on the left side of the screen again, in the identifying party field, we know we're looking for a contract with Waste Management, INC period. So we can go ahead and enter that into the identifying party field. Now, before with the old eDocs system, the identifying party field was case specific. So if you had a comma in there that you're searching for in the old eDocs system, and there wasn't a comma in the identifying party field that we entered whenever we scanned the contract in, it's not going to return those results. The good thing with the upgrade, though, is that it's a like result. So even if you enter a comma or a period in Inc. or after the name, it's still going to return results even if they don't include that comma or period or case matching. So once we enter waste management, comma, INC, period, we're going to click OK. And we're going to get a pretty narrow return of results. But for the sake of the exercise, we're going to use the all caps 2 operator in our date range field. So if we open up that profile search box again, try and narrow our results down a little bit more, that very first column is going to be the date of record. I get a lot of questions about this, what the difference is between the date of record field and the date created field. So the date of record field is going to be whatever the date is in the document itself. So if we sign a contract on January 1st of 2019, but we don't scan it in until February 1st of 2019, the date of the record, because that's the date that the contract was signed or whatever the top date is, we're going to enter the date of record as January 1st, 2019, whereas the date created field is going to show the date that we uploaded it. So if we uploaded it on February 1st, the date created field is going to be February 1st of 2019. So they look very similar in what they are, but they're actually two different sets of data. So in that top column, what we're going to do in the date of record is we're going to type in January 1st, 2015, space, all caps 2, space, and then December 31st of 2015 in that format. And what that's going to do is that's going to look for a range of dates of record for the records that we're looking for from January 1st of 2015 all the way through December 31st of 2015. And again, we're going to keep our identifying party field the same. We're going to enter waste management, comma, Inc., period. And so this is looking for any record between January 1st and December 31st of 2015 with the identifying party field listed as waste management. So if we click OK, once we've got that entered, we're actually going to get down to two results. And based on either the department or the date, we see that we have two results, and we can select it. If it's a waste management contract, it's probably going to be Public Works. So we know based on the department field that we're probably looking at that second result there if you're looking at my screen. A couple other tips and tricks you can use for your searching is you can use an asterisk before or after a word or phrase to find any result that contains that word or phrase within it. You can also use quotation marks around a word or phrase to make sure you're pulling that exact word or phrase out in any of those profile fields. So for example, if we click on that profile search box again, and in the identifying party field, we're going to type in an asterisk, waste, and then an asterisk after it, and we're going to click OK. And then once you get your results back, if you look over there in the identifying party field column, you're going to see that we have results that is for Allied Waste Systems, Waste Management, BFI Waste Systems, Alpine Waste. Anything that contains the word waste is what's pulling up because we use those asterisks around it. So if you're unsure of spelling, if there's an LLC before or after, if there's an incorporated, you can use that asterisk to kind of cover your bases whenever you're looking for contractors or phrases or whatever that information within the profile box that you're going to enter is. Some other tricks, sometimes you're not going to be able to narrow down your list too much. So if you open up the first couple results that you think look similar, that can give you relevant information such as maybe some name changes, company spelling, some addresses that you can search for. And again, what we went over just a little bit ago was setting up your search results that make sense to you and getting those columns ordered in a way that best fits your results to find the information that you're looking for. So that pretty much covers it for some the features and some tricks to use whenever we go live with the upgrade on March 27th for searching and finding documents going forward. We're going to real quick cover how to upload. real quick. So the batch uploading for human resources, community development, and city clerk is going to basically stay the same. The interface is going to change very little. Some of you have seen the Colfax upload screen. Some of you haven't. For those that have, you can see that it doesn't change very much. But another cool feature of the upgrade is we're able to add documents to the web portal or drag and drop in the DM extension if we have a license for it. So real quick, if we're a web portal user and you guys see that the new eDocs system is something that you could benefit from uploading your own documents in, you're able to do that with just the web portal. You won't need the DM extension. So when you're scanning documents in with your desktop scanner or whatever system that you use, or if you already have documents in your R drives or your department drives or your local drives that you want to add to eDocs rather than managing those documents in local drives, you can use eDocs going forward. The way this is going to work is basically you locate your documents wherever they may be, whether it's in a folder on your desktop, and underneath that profile search box that we're used to seeing, you can click Add a Document, find the document wherever it may be, and then once you click OK, you can start going through there and entering the profile information of the record that you need to enter, that you would search for. So I'm just entering in my date of record. I'm looking for the document type of the record to associate it with. Some of these fields are going to be required, and it's not going to let you finish uploading the document until you put them in. Some of them are going to be optional, so if there's things that you want to add that are going to benefit you in either storing your documents or locating your documents going forward, you can do that. The author field, you can either type in your CA or CM, HR underscore, and your last name and look for that, or you can open up the drop-down box and look for it and select it from there. Again, identifying party field, internal document numbers. Some of these key fields are optional. Some of them are required. Generally, the best practice is the more information that you can enter in these metadata fields to find documents, the better. So once I've got my information in here, I'm going to make sure I've got everything selected properly. Everything's good, so I'm going to click OK. After I click OK, it's going to upload. It's going to be right there whenever I'm done with it. That document's going to be in eDocs for storing and for searching for going forward. If you have the DM extension, it works similar, but there's a drag and drop feature rather than finding the document. So if you have the document on your desktop, you just drag it over. Similar box is going to pop up with the exact same information. It's just going to look a little bit different from the screen before. You'd enter all that in, click OK, and then it's up there. With the DM extension, you can also select multiple files. So if you scan a lot with a desktop scanner or a different type of scanner, or if you have a lot of documents in your R drive or your local drive, you can just do a drag and drop real quick. So you select the multiple documents that you have that you're wanting to upload. Just drag them on over. And then the upload box is going to pop up. The way that you're going to know which document is which is going to be, if I can get my little laser pointer here, the document name is going to be the title of whatever the document that you're uploading. So Dylan Gibson application is the title of the document that I uploaded. That's going to be the document name on eDocs. Down here, you can do the apply to all. So if you're entering the same type of information for multiple documents, whether it's a date of record or identifying party or whatever that may be, rather than entering that in for several documents at a time, you can do apply to all and get all that information in there at once. So that's how to upload. Basically, the next steps from here, I've said it a couple times already, but our upgrade goes out on March 27th. Natalie, Priscilla, and a couple IT staff are going to be here very early in the morning to get a lot of the back-end work done out of the way before it starts impacting staff. So eDocs may be down for about the first hour or two that morning. Once we get the upgrade up, we're going to send an email out to a test group. They're going to make sure that everything's working on their end. And then once we have confirmation that eDocs is successfully passed those test groups, we'll email out to the city when eDocs is live. We're going to take a little bit of a break for the eDocs team, and then beginning in quarter 3 of 2019, we're going to start an eDocs improvement team. and we're going to be working with departments and staff to evaluate document routing and upload processes, metadata naming conventions, cross-department searching, stuff like that, to make sure that our processes and the way that we upload documents and store documents is as efficient and beneficial as possible to everybody that's involved in uploading them, looking for them, entering them, any part of the document routing process. From there, we're going to be continuously reevaluating to improve the eDocs platform. If you have any specific questions, reach out to your IT business analyst, and then we'll be reaching out to see if there's any interest in department-specific training. So our first one, I believe, is going to be with HR, since Shirley's leaving, and so we'll be doing department-specific training with them in the near future. Other than that, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about the eDocs upgrade or searching, uploading, anything like that? Perfect. All righty. Well, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.